The ICEVI, the Nippon Foundation Mathematics Package for Teachers video series, Abacus as a Mathematical Tool. Title of the video, Triple Digit Divisor and Triple Digit Dividend. Example, 926 divided by 123, where a safe method is adopted in selecting the assumed quotient. In the example, 926 divided by 123 that was used prior to this exercise, we took 7 as the assumed quotient, though it was nearer to the highest digit of the dividend. A general rule of thumb is that when we involve the highest single digit number 9 in the dividend and the lowest single digit number 1 in the divisor, it is always safe to select an assumed quotient which is little over the midpoint between 1 and 9. In such a situation, it may be advisable to select 5 or 6 as the assumed quotient. When the tens and hundreds columns numbers of the divisor are higher, it may be advisable to select 5 as the assumed quotient. In case they are lower digit numbers, it may be advisable to select 6 as the assumed quotient. As demonstrated earlier, selecting a lower assumed quotient is not going to harm, and we can always make adjustments in the result when we find that the remainder value in every stage of division is higher than the divisor. Let us set the dividend 926 in the right extreme of the abacus and the divisor 123 in the left extreme of the abacus. As the divisor is 1, 2, 3, which involve smaller numbers in the respective columns, it may be advisable to select 6 as the assumed quotient. Let us set 6 in the 10,000s column. Now 6 should be multiplied with the divisor 1, 2, 3, and the multiplied value should be subtracted from the dividend 926. That is, 6 is multiplied with 1, which is 0, 6. That should be subtracted from the thousands column and the hundreds column. That is, 0 subtracted from the thousands column and 6 subtracted from the hundreds column. Then 6 is multiplied with 2, which is 12. That is, 1 is subtracted in the hundreds column and 2 subtracted in the tens column. Let us multiply 6 with 3, that is 18. Out of this, 1 should be subtracted in the tens column and 8 in the units column. We cannot subtract 1 in the tens column, therefore subtract 1 in the hundreds column and add 9 in the tens column. We have to subtract 8 from the 6 in the units column, which we cannot do, and therefore subtract 1 in the tens column and add 2 in the units column. Now we get a triple digit remainder 188, which is greater than the divisor 123. Therefore our assumed quotient is less than the real quotient. Don't reset the problem. Simply add 1 to the assumed quotient and subtract 1, 2, 3 from the dividend 188, and we get the remainder as 61. If we had selected 5 as the assumed quotient in the first stage, the remainder itself would show higher remainder than the divisor, which will warrant us to add 1 at a time to the quotient and subtract the divisor from the dividend. Ultimately, we will get the correct quotient and the remainder, but it will involve a couple of steps when our assumed quotient is not the real quotient. Children will be able to guess the right quotient by looking at the digits of the dividend and the divisor, and this requires continuous practice in using abacus.